welcome in everyone to our first episode after the centennial, episode 101. Here we are.
This is Battle Cats 101. Welcome. This is your first lesson, everybody.
Exactly. First lesson is if you're not following us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, make sure to drop us a follow. But most importantly, hit us with the subscribe button on the YouTubes, because my goal was to hit 1,000 subscribers by episode 100, and I guess we're gonna have to wait till episode 102 to make that goal happen.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: we have actually over like 1,000 consistent listeners on our podcast. It's just not all
Which
of
is
them
amazing.
are using the it's incredible. Not everyone's using the YouTube platform, which I understand, but it's the best way for you to let us know your thoughts, especially if you drop a comment down below. And speaking of viewers and listeners to our podcast, I do have confirmation. I can't say who, but I do have confirmation that at least one Niantic employee listens to our podcast. So we have not just been saying if any of you are out there for no reason. And this employee also said that there's likely other employees that also listen to it. So
yeah, that was a wild revelation, man.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, they congratulated us on episode 100. So
Yeah,
thank you, all the Niantic boys for listening. And we will say like, hey, if anyone's listening, like, do something. But we also understand that not every Niantic employee, in fact, most Niantic employees cannot just make a change happen overnight. Actually, I should say all Niantic employees.
yeah. Except one, which is John Hankey, right?
John Hankey, if you're out there,
if you're listening, John, please
shoot us. Blink twice.
Yeah, blink twice. No, we love all of our podcast downloaders as well, guys. Thank you so much on all the platforms. 100 episodes was pretty wild. As you know, I haven't been with Caleb for all of them. Zionic came in, and he was the one that started it off as well. But if you're not watching the YouTube, every other week Caleb goes shirtless, and you got to tune in to see which week it is.
Exactly. All right, well, let's get into some quick YouTube comments. We're a few episodes behind just because we've had a lot of guest episodes lately, so we can't really cover the comments on the guest one. But going all the way back to episode 98, featuring Dracoviz, Palmer's Up, and Anacor. In this episode, let's talk about some comments here. PP Steve says, no shot does anyone read Draco Metrics to think Draco Meteor? Hey, man, I don't know. I mean, I get that, but how many people knew what Dracovish is, right? From the Pokemon Go community. I think from the general VGC and TCG community.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. And then PP Steve also says, really appreciate Dracoviz for keeping me up with the APAC tournaments. Yes, doing a great job. Not only that, but also from tournaments from Europe and LATAM as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
We saw from Mexico City, they were doing a lot of coverage there. And that was a huge tournament there, too. So definitely awesome to see them do that. Here's the other thing, too. I'm not going to say what it is, but Draco Viz also has like a slang term you can use that people have used if you check out their Twitter on another way to say it. And again, I'm just saying, if you said Dracometrics, you would avoid this whole slang term. I'm going to say what slang term is because I don't know the age of our audience members here, but use your educated guesses.
We'll keep it family friendly.
Keep it family friendly, exactly. Michael Davis says 17 views in only 1 hour after posting. Squirrel Trapper doesn't know what he's talking about.
Cheers.
And then Victor afterwards says Squirrel Trapper is secretly a fan that wants attention. That or they really be hate watching. Yeah, could be both.
Yeah. I think I said this before, but I feel like Squirrel Trapper is somebody who really loves PvP, but all the negative thoughts are the things that they write in the comments. Like, I think the game is going to fail. I feel so toxic today. I'll just type this out and get it out of my system.
It's like the angel and the demon on the shoulder. He only the angel on the shoulder doesn't have fingers to type, so it's only the demon that's taking
It's
over.
The angel on one shoulder and the Squirrel Trapper on the other.
Dude, this is a great merch idea. Stay tuned. I love that. That's so funny. Melgood says meteors with data in them. Caleb, Leaf logo design to the pros, man. Hey, now I didn't say that had to be the logo. I'm just saying could have been something. Omniaki says awesome to see more community built and available resources, and a fair point about other regions doing well in their non-native region. We will see how it all stacks up at Worlds for sure. I'd love to see a trivia segment run with predictions or polls on the Twitch broadcast. That would be a fun way to engage with the community. The pronunciation segments are fun, but definitely not as engaging in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I mean, fun fact too, last year for the regionals, I don't remember for Worlds or not, but for the regionals in North America, actually, yeah, those are the only broadcast regionals now that I think about it. The officially broadcast regionals, they actually did have trivia segments, but they weren't like this kind of trivia. They were like, oh, like, which of these Pokemon have a tail, right? Or something like that. And it'd be like 4 different Pokemon. And it would just be, I feel like the questions also started repeating after a while, but it'd be like trivia questions for like solid 10 minutes straight. And everyone got, I don't know, there was some Twitch participation, but it wasn't nearly as engaging. I think these questions would be cool. And I would love to see it, but, Dracoviz is definitely a third party, unofficial source. Would love to see them or any other third party group have partnerships with TPCI, but I'm sure that's a trickier situation in its own hand. But who knows? There's no way to know unless you ask, right? So
exactly.
Yeah. But Melgood also says, yes, shout out to behind the scenes folks who never got enough credit. Obviously, love my Play Pokemon judges. I feel like a proud mom watching them run amazing events nearly every week. Thank you, judges. Yes, exactly. Especially, I mean, I feel like the past few events too, they've been real smooth. And we can talk about this like after the questions, but Hartford was pretty smooth too from a player perspective as well. I was a player there, and 170 players or 169 or whatever it was. Biggest NA tournament, and King drove down for one day to help out with that one. So shout out to King and all the judges there that were there. Right, Goldgrove. Oh, here we go. This is a great episode. Love the Draco Viz piece, putting all the data in one home. Will be essential as the scene continues to develop. Drop the follow to them, and it's extra much appreciated as it will help me build my anti-meta team too. Yeah, speaking of anti-meta team, I know RC Cola, Ryan Colgrove's going to be competing at Fresno next weekend.
Oh, let's go.
Dude, there's I don't know what's going to be anti-meta. I don't know what the meta is, but we'll talk about that in a bit. I was laughing before I said his comment just because I thought it was going to be about LeBron James.
I know, me too. We got out of there.
The next video he's going to bring up LeBron James. So we'll say the basketball talk for 5 minutes later. Yeah. Elliot Radford says, love what Dracoviz has been doing, but I just assumed Dracoviz was a person. Like their online pseudonym.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, like Xpenchu or Nesabitha or Sazia, etc., etc. Draco Betrix is a fantastic name because it sounds more like a group than a singular person. Hey, man. I also had no idea Draco Vish is a Pokemon. See, I didn't know either, right? Maybe in a few years we'll all be like, yo, Draco Viz, what a great name. But for the time being, we don't know what Draco Vish is. It is a funny looking Pokemon though, which you added to the thumbnail, which I appreciated.
Dude, the person in the thumbnail is Draco Viz. Right?
That is Draco Viz. And totally agree with Caleb. What the name is crucial, but the guys are doing amazing work, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. And you know what? I gotta say, even if the name's not great, the chatter around it is only just better publicity, right?
True.
So
true.
Skull Trapper said, Silpha just shut down. Your crap PP is on the last legs, but keep up the fake smiles. Yo, he back.
He's back.
Yeah, this one wasn't as eloquently typed out. It's just a short dig at us, dig at self. But hey, Skull Trapper, if you didn't know, man, it's a bunch of grassroots efforts in behind the scenes. So, best of luck to you as well. Best of luck to you. Roberto Lopez says, can't wait to hear your reactions towards the recent Sylph news. I'm sad considering this means the end for my factions team. Yeah, I mean, again, because this was 2 weeks ago too, right? So we did a Sylph segment.
We did
2 weeks prior, and we'll cover the comments from that one too. But I'm hopeful. There's a lot of chatter, a lot of work behind the scenes. So we'll see how that goes.
Don't disband your teams yet, everybody.
Yeah. Rose said, Caleb for president, Kochiyama for VP. Draggy and Cranbrook has shared the first cat title. If that's the case, nice. I'm making Speedy. What's that? Man, I'm blanking. What's a position where
Secretary of State?
Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff.
You're Chief
all
of
right,
Staff.
Let's do it.
You're Chief of Staff, Speedy.
Let's do it.
You gotta do all the dirty work behind the scenes. I'm
like,
take care of this person for me. Like,
dude, I'm the Doug Stamper, right?
Exactly. Digging up holes in the middle of deserts. If you know what I mean.
Shout out to anyone in the comments who gets a reference.
Exactly. Rose says, "What am I saying? We all know Heather will be president. That's true. I'll be her VP. That's fine.
Yeah.
Nice look at the work that goes into all the juicy data compilation I adore. Thanks, Dracovis. Yeah, for sure. This was a really fun episode. There was actually one other comment here about someone asking, like, I don't know why it was necessary for us to roast Dracovis's name for 15 minutes. I don't know what happened to that comment. I don't know if it's deleted or YouTube held it. I remember seeing it when it first came up. Hey,
maybe they backed out.
Yeah, I mean, look, no shame on those that like Dracovis's name, but I'm always honest with my friends. I gotta let them know how it is, because that way there aren't people making fun of the name, which some people have been, but it is what it is.
Like you said, no publicity is bad publicity. That's the old saying, right?
That's true. Yeah, exactly. All right, going into our Sylph episode comments, we'll just cover this one. We'll cover the episode 100 comments in a future episode. A lot of hashtag thank you Sylph, such as from PvP Steve, Ginger Ninja, and Sabine Keller as well too. Yeah, definitely shout out to Sylph for all the work they've done over the years, as we mentioned in the past episodes. 2 episodes ago. Roberto also says Michael from Niantic as episode 100 guest. Not quite, but it was a good guess. That would be cool. I mean, if we could get him on. He was recently a guest on Zoe 2's YouTube channel, and we'll talk about that more in this episode as well too. But so hey,
good idea.
Yeah. Hey, I'd be for it. Gil says Lifting and Zombies is episode 100. Wait, what's Lifting and Zombies?
Lifting and Zombies is a Pokemon Go spoofer streamer.
Oh,
yeah, who makes spoofing videos. So gotcha. I don't know about that one, Gil. I don't think so.
That's an interesting name in general. Yeah, no, unfortunately it wasn't. Melga said, also, please don't sit there thinking about your team's performance because the judges will tell you to hurry up. Dude,
yeah, Mel.
For real. It ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna be me.
Yeah, I'm telling you. If if everyone could have seen behind the scenes in San Diego, Caleb was like, all right, 2 changes, lock in.
Fastest locker in the game. I mean, you could tell if you watch me on stream. I'm just
your body language.
I'm literally just like, all right. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. What are you doing, right? And they're staring at the phone, so like picking and stuff. I'm just like, ready to go. Sabine Keller says the only Pokemon I've transferred accidentally was a Clefairy. I had just built the second before. Oh man, a Clefairy! No. Oh my gosh! As I wanted to put it on my team, it had vanished. I still don't know how that could happen. Oh gosh, the double move in the dust is definitely something. Yeah, I definitely accidentally double moved and powered up the wrong Nidoqueen before for a tournament because the CP looked about right, and then I forgot, and it was like I praised 2, and I forgot which one I was going to use. So.
Dude, you've powered up the wrong Nidoqueen. You run Water Gun Shadow Swampert in a Great League tournament.
I was stream. Yeah,
you've transferred a Libre. Dude, what is going on with your inventory management, dude?
Dude, it's man,
needs
the
work.
old age is getting to me.
Senile.
I will say too. I mean, I'm not that old, but like I feel like spicy food's hitting me worse than it used to. And like I don't know what else. I used to be able to handle spicy food. I can still handle it, but just I don't know, my body can't or what. Speaking of spicy food, you got that chip or what? What's that chip coming?
Working on it. Sabine says the guest at episode 100. I think Psionic is the trap here. Caleb's trying to trap me too because it must be him. Doesn't it? So I say it's Shadow Z. Dude, having Daniel on the podcast would actually be really fun.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, we did have Daniel on the podcast a long time ago, but that was a whole different Daniel Zineri. So
yes,
no, that would be a great return guest. Again, he's very busy behind the scenes. He also works for TBCI. I don't know what, like it's like I don't know if there's any restrictions on that, but that stuff is only we can ask. Because I mean, dude, think about it. He hasn't even been working for TBCI for a year. Like literally half a year. Like today, almost just half a year. Wild, but anyway, we've come a long way. Sabine Keller says, "I like Draco quiz from episode 98. Good questions with surprising answers. I had all of them wrong. I mean, we pretty much did too. It was kind of hard to listen to though, since Polly and of course both had too much room sound on the microphones, but the quiz itself was fun. Yeah, that's for sure. And so 2 behind the scenes things. One is just they don't typically do podcasts and stuff, so I wouldn't be surprised if their equipment's like not like on the same level as me and Speedy, but we still appreciate them coming by. And the other thing is also, this is people don't know, when we recorded it, it was I think like nighttime for me and like midnight for Polly because he's all the way on the East Coast and he has a family and stuff too. So I could kind of tell he's pretty much like whispering the whole time. So behind the scenes, I had to bump up his volume a ton to match ours, which means that there's a lot more background noise. So yeah, we apologize for that, but we do appreciate them coming by. And also, Anna Core's all the way in Australia, so there was like no perfect time zone anyway. But yeah, but
I'll tell
it
you,
was
I'll
a good
tell you
time.
what, dude. In 2024, let's launch the Battle Cats recording studio and just fly our guests to the studio and record in person.
Yeah, you move on down to LA, man, and then we got it. We got it.
We got it.
Sam Miller says the only accidental transfer I've done is a second mood Bulbasaur for Little Cup. Was a huge investment to build another one for this week, but I need all the dust I can get, and I've always had 0. Shake my head, dude. Little Cup investments are not cheap either, though, Sam. I feel you there because sometimes I'm like, hey, no big deal, right? I'm just making a whooper for Little Cup. What the heck? This is $500,000. Like it's just like you have to use XLs. Like what's going on? Some of these Little Cup investments are definitely not cheap. So
yeah, Bronzor too. I mean, shoot.
Oh, dude, don't even tell me. Yeah, they made Litwick better just for Bronzor alone. We'll talk about that later. But David also says, with the death of Sylph, I think it's about time we get pick 6 tournaments in GBL. Competitive play Pokemon tournaments have been a thing for a while now. Without Sylph, it'll be a lot harder to get practice tournaments in. GBL tournaments could have an ELO entry fee, and winners could do significant ELO gains and other rewards like Stardust. Hey, I'd be down for that. I totally would be down. And honestly, if you integrate that with play Pokemon, you can even do like for limited tournaments, right? Like where they sell a lot, you get like reserved spots for those at a certain ranking or performance from a tournament. When play Pokemon first launched for Pokemon Go, there was actually like a legend requirement originally to four spots go
right?
to legends, right? And they just kind of scrapped that because it was just like I don't know if it was like too hard to sync the data or like they just realized like they weren't going to fill up on the spots anyway. Probably both.
Yeah.
But I think I definitely could see potential in that as hopefully Go gets more popular and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to piggyback on your point, David. I think that we should have a cup rotation that is show 6, right? Like you should have Great League available, and then you should have like Championship Series available, right?
Yeah.
And the goal that I had in mind that I think would be really cool is if we had a show 6 format available in Go Battle League, and maybe you had like a month long availability for that format, and then whoever accumulated the most points by the end of that month would be invited to like a playoff tournament, and then you could win an invitation to Worlds remotely through Go Battle League. Like there'd be one North American Continental Champion, one Latin American Continental Champion. Those 4 champions would be supported by Niantic to go to the World Championships, which I think would be really cool.
Yep, that'd be really dope. We'll see. We like the ideas, and hey, we know some from Niantic's out there listening, so
yeah,
take the notes. Pass along your own idea. We don't need
I hope so. Yeah. Take all the credit. And then when the community is like, oh my God, this is the best idea ever, Caleb and I won't say a word. It was totally your idea.
Yeah. Except for me, every episode I'll be like, you heard it here first on the Battlecast podcast.
Fair.
From David, actually. But all right, Chad Cameron, actually, Seaship says, congrats on episode 100, dudes. Really hoping for a Squirrel Trapper reveal, dude. I'd honestly be down to just hit up Squirrel Trapper and see what's up, right? I don't think Squirrel Trapper would take us up on it, but I'd be down. I'd be like, yo, here's the link to a podcast. Let's see what happens. These are on live, right? If you go just like buck wild and stuff on the podcast, I'm just gonna cut it out or bleep out
or
everything.
just add a bunch of beeps. It's like a Jerry Springer show.
Exactly. There's no First Amendment on this show. It's Caleb amendments only. Jerry Springer, dude. Rest in peace, man. He passed away recently too. I didn't realize he was like a mayor of a whole city and everything too. Dude, that guy just did a whole bunch of things. Yeah. Apparently, I think he was like, I don't know. Don't quote me on this. I think he was like a decent mayor too, but I don't know. I need to look more into it.
Thank you so much, Ships. Justin has a big question. Why don't we tackle this one together?
Yeah,
because you've been reading them all. Justin says, please make the Don't Ever Change t-shirt happen. I've already placed a pre-order. Thanks, Justin. Wanted to get your thoughts on the upcoming shadow raids as well. This seems like a great example of the disconnect between what Niantic thinks they are encouraging, which is community focused engagement, I presume, and what actually happens in the real world. This is kind of This is the kind of thing I would have gotten really excited about even 3 months ago. The prospect of maybe getting a Hundo Mewtwo, Purified or Shadow, would take either. And it does sound like it could be a fun raid mechanic with the right teammates. I would have went to a park or two with my son and maybe one or two lower level locals and remote invited some people to ensure we could comfortably defeat it. Now, though, the prospect of actually gathering together enough qualified people in person to take on a Shadow Mewtwo with the new, probably buggy mechanic is daunting to the point of me just immediately giving up on the idea. Justin, I just want to cut it off. Like, there's a couple more sentences here, but yeah, I agree with you. I feel like, especially if you already anticipate there will be problems and you know that the stakes are higher, it's more difficult to defeat. It just makes things, the barrier to entry is even higher. If you already know that you can't dodge reliably, charge attacks come through back to back in the raids, it's buggy with the lobbies, you never know what's going to happen. It just feels like, why make this more difficult? Because it's just going to be more frustrating in the end. Justin continues, so instead of my being really excited and actually engaging with the game, I'm planning on just avoiding them entirely. I live in one of the most populated parts of the country, which is LA County. Yo, shout out to Caleb as well. I can't even imagine the work it would take to try to gather up a group in a less populated area. Justin, Shadow Mewtwo raid weekend happened. I live in southern Mississippi at the time. I did 0 Shadow Mewtwo's.
I'll
Can't
ask you about
believe
that later.
it was brutal. Can't believe I'm the only one who feels this way either. I could be wrong. Hasn't even started yet, so maybe it'll go great and really encourage people to play more together, but it seems doubtful. We'd love to hear what you guys think.
Yeah. I mean, we'll definitely talk about Shadow Mewtwo's in a little bit too, or Shadow Raids in general. Yeah, there's definitely some yeah, I don't know. I mean, I will say there were definitely some positives I saw on Twitter. People were like, oh, I got to like meet some of my community members again, do these raids and stuff. But then there's other things where, like, on the flip side, you got no one to meet up with, right? If you're in Mississippi and you're like, dude, there's no one doing these raids, or it's really hard to coordinate. I tried using Campfire, and we'll talk more about that too. But I do yeah, I do agree with with a lot of the sentiments there, Justin. And listening to the Michael on Zoe Two Dots YouTube channel also helped illuminate some of the ideas around that. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But thank you for the comment as always, Justin. Ryan Colgrove says, shout out to the SoCal Swablu homie Dapper Dis. Almost had Caleb on the ropes. Yeah, dude. Those matchups were really, really tight, too. Honestly, the closest matchups outside of... Honestly, my battles with Ramberto were, like, close, but, like, they weren't like as intense. The battles with Dapper Dis were super intense. And I hope, wish him the best too. He actually recently ran into some health issues too, so has to withdraw from Fresno. But wishing him a speedy recovery too.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, he was posting about it on Twitter. Yeah, but yeah, so he was in the hospital. He was hospitalized, but his factions needed 1 point to win the bout, and he was the last one to go, so he couldn't just forfeit and go 0-2. So you know what he does? He 3-0s his opponent from the hospital bed in the hospital after his healthcare incident. Wild, dude.
Dude, I don't know who his
baller.
opponent is. What a baller, dude. I don't know who his opponent was, but with all due respect, that's like a career-ending injury right there. That's if you get 3-0 from the hospital, that's tough.
Well, it was the last week of Sylph, and I think the opponent went Spice and went like 6 ghost types. So what I heard is Dapper just went straight bite Gyarados every single game and drew the opponent. But yeah. I mean, I honestly like probably props to the opponent too for even trying to make that work, because I'm sure like that was probably hard to coordinate too. But yeah, wishing him a speedy recovery for sure. Also, shout out to Nathan throwing down the facts. Good to know I'm not the only casual. Mic drop. I rest my case. For the NBA stuff, right? Yeah.
I think so.
Now we can leave this topic for our non-NBA peeps and return to our regular scheduled programming. Also, rest in peace, the butt fumble. How does my fellow Jets fan Caleb not remember this initially? Dude, it's been years, man. So with that said, finally the Sylph ending was a gut punch initially, was completely shocked, but thanks to some great people like some here on the podcast, I think the torch will be carried soon enough. Yeah, and Ron Colgrove, to our local organizer for Sylph, hosted one again this past weekend as well, at a local card shop, which hopefully coming soon in LA will be having the play Pokemon like local tournaments.
Locals, yes.
Yeah. So it should be I think they should be sanctioned to host them next season, which would be good. I mean, honestly, like starting this season, like no one's catching up to JJN in championship points, right? They released a thing, and he ain't catching up to them if you don't have enough points right now. So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that for sure. 50 Delegray says, I can't believe I've been listening to this podcast for 100 episodes. This is the Joe Rogan podcast of the Pokemon Go universe. Amazing job, guys, here for episode 200 plus. On a sad note, the latest decisions from Niantic's side just made me not even open the game anymore after I'm done with this weekend's regionals in Malmo. I feel like it's time for a break and enjoy the summer. Hopefully things get better. Yeah, hopefully so. And I hope that Malmo went well for you, because I know that was also a tournament that happened recently. Hopefully the updates and some of the changes coming soon will get more excited, but totally understand and respect those that are deciding to take a break from the game. And hey, shout out to you as well, and to anyone that's been listening since episode 1, all 100 episodes. Man, that's a lot of hours of listening to myself ramble about nonsense. So I don't know who will sign themselves up for it, but here we are. Uso says, I accidentally transferred my only shiny Kanto Sandslash. Oh no. The game was bugging and wasn't loading the Pokemon images, so I thought it was a non-shiny. Oh, dude, that's tough.
Yeah, I've done that. I've driven through like dead zones and I'm trying to transfer catches, and the game will like kind of stall out. I'm like, wait, did I select this transfer? Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Hey, locals are also hit them up, man. I feel like a lot of people have extra Kanto Sandslash, right? That could be an easy one to replace.
True.
Especially because they already have one registered in the Pokédex, so it won't be expensive. Hey, Uso, if you're around somewhere I'm around, I got you. I got some extra Kanto Sandslash as well. Derek Cruz says, it's 11:30 p.m. and just put on the 100. Let's see how this goes. Speaking of, congrats on episode 100. Yeah, the 100. Great show. Let me know what you think, Derek Cruz. I will say season 1, a little wonky at first because like there are just a bunch of like B-list, C-list, nobody actors for the most part. They do have the guy that played Desmond from Lost, actually. I forgot his name, but the guy with the long hair too. Yeah. But they have some like known actors, but for the most part, a bunch of unknowns. But it gets good. It gets good. Fish on a Heater says, I'm guessing the episode 100 guest is Zionic and that he'll take that opportunity to reveal he was Scroll Trap for all along. Yo. Great guess on Zionic. He never revealed he was Scroll Trapper though, but you never know. He could be.
You never know. He could. Dude, I'm telling you, it's the Scroll Trapper on his shoulder. Just the evil voice.
Yeah. And shout out to Fish on Heater and DeFi as well too for their podcast on GoCast. They also have a PvP corner which I listen to weekly, which is good. Rich Rank says, as an OG first 15 or so member of AR PvP, it always warms my heart to hear that server mentioned in the community. It did so much for the PvP community. Yes, absolutely. And being among the first to offer remote tournaments, the first for team formats, exactly, the very first. And at the beginning of the pandemic, hosting consistently full remote tournaments. Love that server and everyone I met there as a local. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to them for sure. And about Sylph coming to an end, I remember competing at the Last Chance Qualifier in Chicago for 2019 Worlds, and Toshi being on my tournament held at some park downtown on the Friday before actual Worlds. Yeah, dude. Yeah, actually, first time I met Toshi, you know how GoFest, they have like, especially in 2019, they had last year too, but they have those like, you battle like best like blind threes, right? And you keep moving forward, right?
Battle Arena, right?
I battled Toshi in one of my first or second battles, and I just remember because I didn't know who he was right at the time, but he watched my Lugia videos, so he's like, oh dang, it's Caleb Peng. I was like, oh, who are you? But anyway, so he ran like Sableye or something too, because everyone was running Deoxys Defense, but funny enough, I didn't have a Deoxys Defense made. And there was no species call, so people were running like double Deoxys Defense, right? Because that thing was broken. Like Psycho Boost wasn't even debuffing you. That's how strong it was. Yeah. I was running like something like Meganium and like Whiscash or whatever, right? So he was like expecting Deoxys Defense back, and I had like a Whiscash, I think, that blizzard his Sableye. But yeah, first time I ever met Toshi too. We come a long way for sure. But yeah, back then I didn't know. I didn't know who it was. Yeah, I won my first ever battle against Toshi.
It happens that way, right? Dude, we both fought some pretty impressive people in our battle arena experience. You had Toshi, I had Shmusif.
Oh yeah. How'd that
Yeah.
go?
He ran double defense from Deoxys. Yeah,
Tryhards.
it was like DD Umbreon DD or something.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
remember,
something for
dude.
the same boy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been a while since I've told this story, so I'll tell it again. Dude, I'm already feeling like a boomer and talking like one too. But anyways, the way the story goes is we play, he wins, and he's like, "Yo, man, don't feel bad about the loss. I'm the world champion," and shook my hand, and I was
Oh,
like,
he did this after the Worlds? Oh, you already knew who he was at that point
I
then too,
already knew
right?
who he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What did you say in response?
I was like, I know, and I just laughed. Yeah.
From
Fast
one not
forward.
so humble bag to one not so feel great acknowledgement of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and correct the record as well. He was the North American champion.
Yeah. Little did he know he's talking
Yeah.
to the future world champion. Yo, think about that, dude. That's a wild. That's a
I
wild coming full circle
I thought
afterwards.
about that. I was like, "Man, did anyone take a picture of that?" Because I was
No.
just, I don't know.
I don't know if you want to see your face after that one, but
No, I was
with the
like,
updated photo, you'd be smiling.
dude, I committed to like a Gallade team, and I was like, I'm just gonna run this the whole time, no matter what. And then he came out with double DD, and I was like, this freaking try
Yeah,
hard,
and plus
right?
Umbreon too.
Yeah.
That's not
But
that's not
I was the Toshi in that situation. I was like, yo, I know this guy. But
good.
and the other guy was a jerk, just like Toshi's opponent. I'm just kidding.
Hey, you're still eating that hot chip. Don't let me. Don't make me
Uh-huh,
forget.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Well, hey, everyone! I'm gonna make sure he orders it after this episode, right? I'm gonna
All
be
right.
like, "Yo, go on to Amazon. We gonna get this hot chip next week. It's been about time." I will say next week is appropriate too because it'll be the start of the next season. So it will
Yeah,
be that. It will be that.
dude.
All
Start
right.
of the new season.
Yeah, and let's get into the other stuff here. So thank you all for the YouTube questions as always. In comments, it's always a great time to cover them and hear your thoughts too. Shout out to all of our fans too. I know not everyone leaves comments, but we do appreciate the loyal listeners. Brief recap on Hartford too. I mean, we had a lot of regionals recently too. We had Metro
Yeah.
City and Malmo as well. But I was at Hartford. You were at Hartford as well.
Yes.
And we do have Wadaj winning it all too, which I feel like what an interesting and great redemption arc. I feel like right, he
Yeah.
started off like top 8, I think top 4 or whatever in Baltimore, and then got away all the way up to top 3, just barely missing out on World's qualification after BMing in Toronto. Right? He didn't lose because of BM, right? But like people say karma or whatever.
People say karma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people say whatever. But just losing out, he had the low skill like comment on Twitter and stuff, and he later apologized for it. And then, I feel like he went through some stints where he just wasn't even making top 8, right? He didn't make top 8 in San Diego. He didn't make it in Knoxville. And then he was like, I feel like he was like just improving from tournament to tournament afterward, right? Like, was it Charlotte's? He made top 8 from losers bracket side,
Yep.
and then I think Fort Wayne he got to the winners bracket side, but got knocked down by Hedonis. And then this time around, he just went all the way through, didn't lose a single set too. Very impressive too. I mean, it was a stacked tournament. I mean,
Yeah.
think about it this way: Worlds Invite went all the way to top 7 because of how many Worlds already qualified people were in top cut in top 8, right? Top 16. So,
Which is
was,
wild.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was wild.
No, I agree. It was cool to talk with Vidaj after the tournament. Again, like one of our goals as casters is to pull more like storylines from the players. We don't want to just see what's on the screen. Obviously, that's important, right? But we want to get to know who is actually playing here. And talking with Vidaj, he said that his mental was just totally broken for a lot of the season. One thing would go wrong and he would just spiral. And we've actually seen that live in a few tournaments, right? Where like he no shields a weather ball and then he just like no shields everything else and he just kind of like throws in the towel. We're like, what are you doing, man? You had a chance.
Yeah.
He just kind of confirmed that, right? And then he talked about the people that he had been traveling with that really helped him, like Onion and Aiden, right, aka Hot Pocket.
Dude, that guy was running some degen stuff, man. I gotta say, he made Bastion look good, but like I would never take those strats. But
dude,
hey,
right? And
those
I really
were something.
I really think it's amazing what Wadaj has accomplished, and really proud of him for getting to Worlds. I hope his knee gets better. I definitely think he tore a tendon or something like that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was physically incapacitated in some parts, but still played great. And dude, I forgot who it was. Someone gave him a hug after one of them, and I was like, dude,
like
watch
hobbled.
out! Like they gave him an aggressive hug. Maybe it was Dune. I forgot who it was. No, it wasn't Dune. I forgot.
It might have been
It was
Mason?
Kevin Saladeras.
Oh,
I remember.
Kevin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
on
yeah, yeah.
stream. I was like, "Go watch out, Kevin, man, he's injured. Like he could like break his leg."
Yeah, Kevin's showing all the love, dude. What I thought really characterized Hartford though was a lot of these, like you said, a lot of these worlds qualified, really talented players were using like these crazy picks, like Hot Pocket with Bastiodon, right? That was not the play style that we were used to at all.
I wasn't crazy enough.
Magic,
I should have ran something more than just Toxapex.
right, right, and then you had Magic Mason with Guzzlord,
Mhm.
right, running just some bonkers stuff, and I think it was really, really fun to watch those matches. I wish we would have seen more of the losers bracket in day two. That's like more behind the scenes thing. Hopefully,
Yeah.
next time we will see losers bracket battles. But that being said, I do think it's a little bit unfortunate that we had all these spicy Pokemon, but then just the freaking hardcore meta ended up in the finals.
That's mad for a reason, man. I
I
was like personally
guess.
thinking, like, man, am I trolling by not bringing Trevenant? Because because man, Swampert is so annoying for my team. Like, it's just like you had to lean into RPS, but that might be the last time for that. We'll see, because this upcoming season, or this upcoming season of GBL and these updates, we'll talk about it in a little bit. It's going to change some stuff. It doesn't change everything, but it changes some
Yeah.
stuff. Yo, Trevenant is like just going extinct here.
Trevenant feels bad. It's down bad.
I think Trevenant might be extinct on this one, but that does reduce some of the RPS factor for sure. So we'll see. But again, how are we gonna deal with Lantern? We'll talk about more about that later. But yeah, overall though, Hartford was a great time. Little bummed personally speaking, because I was literally one set away from making to day 2. I go to the winners finals, get Magic Mason, I lose there. Right, I get a chance at losers finals. I get a rematch against the guy I 2-0'd in the winners semis, and this guy had no Umbreon check. His best Umbreon check was like a Toxapex or a G-Fist. That was it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like those aren't really even Umbreon checks. But he had no fighters. He had Sableye, Noctowl, Swampert, and Shadow Dragonair.
Mm-hmm.
So like nothing really for Umbreon. So I'm thinking, yo, this is gonna be great, right? Jimbo Spice too. Shout out to him. He's actually a patron of mine too. So first time meeting him in person, but he's in my streams a lot. He talks to my Discord, and so I was like, I mean, it'd be great to battle him in case he's a great battler, but no, he made the adjustments. He 2-0s me at the losers finals. So crazy adjustment. Those were good battles.
Nice.
I wish we saw that. I battled him on stream, and looking back on it, even though I 2-0'd him, looking back on it, I had to play like absolutely perfectly, and I won. Like I had like lead advantage every time too. So looking back on it, even though I had a team comp advantage over him, he's still very talented, and I had to play really well to even get that 2-0 with the advantage that I had. So looking back on it, like I'm not surprised he 2-0'd me, and he was going on a tear. He was like 2-0ing everyone after, and he faced some tough opponents. He beat JJ in round 1, beats Monarch round 2, facing me round 3, goes to losers finals, losers bracket, faces someone else I can't remember who, and then Uber Judgment.
Oh,
and then he has to face me again. Dude, and I'm telling you, none of my opponents were easy at Hartford as well. I didn't get any like rando 1200 CP infestation Beedrill users, right? Like every one of my opponents, like I came to game 3 every time, and I timed out Umbreon into a Zumro in game 3 of one of my matches off stream, and like the sliver of health was so low I couldn't tell who won until we saw the final screen.
Holy cow.
It was that bad. Yeah, it was that rough. So, yeah, all the opponents in Hartford were great. I mean, partially maybe my team I built wasn't the best, but I got some spice for Fresno, right? Coming up next week.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you a sneak. You know what? I send you a screenshot, right? And you could do the reaction here. But overall, again, Hartford, it was a good time. So and again, congrats to Wadaj, and then also Trogdor as well qualified.
Yes.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
That. Yeah. So
while you're doing that, I just want to say I got to commentate with Butters. That was a lot of fun, dude. I got the usual Caleb seat there. That was that was really enjoyable, dude. Butters is so hype and so much fun. That was definitely a fun cast. And then Jim and Mark as well, I thought were great.
Yeah.
On the cast, so.
Yeah, it's been a second since I've seen Mark too, but it was great to see him there too. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, okay. You're a believer. You saw what she did with it in Hartford, right? Actually, two of these actually made it to the top 16 in Hartford.
2 of them?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I didn't realize that.
Dude, should I drop the other name? I think that's enough of a hint, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Just leave them be. If they don't know the
Okay.
info, they don't know the info.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
just
No spoilers.
like I said, just bring your Bastion counters for Fresno, right? Bring your Bastion counters for Fresno. I was gonna ask you too. Fennekin Community Day was during that event.
Yes.
And we stayed around for venue to catch stuff too, right? I know you were
Yeah.
commentating, so you probably didn't have as many catches. Do you know how much Stardust gained you had? Because I only got about 300K.
Yeah, no,
A little over 300K, 350 maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, so to be honest, I was trying to push up to the 20 million, and I was like, you know what? There's double dust here at the event,
Yeah.
and I think the spawns were decent as well.
Yeah, it was
on
triple dust there,
Saturday.
so we ended up getting it with the star piece. It was like 9 times dust.
Yeah,
So that's the
yeah,
benefit of playing at a regional. The only downside is there weren't as many spawns, so there are definitely some dead zones.
yeah.
But I had a bunch of stacks going, so I didn't get as many as I would thought was looking for. But also, I didn't like catch the entire 3 hours. I was like watching and doing rockets and talking to people.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. No, I was the same way, dude. Honestly, yeah, as I was saying, on Saturday, I actually grinded quite a bit as well.
yeah.
So
I actually got a lot of dust Saturday. Yeah, double dust.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
raining too, so it was weather
yeah,
boosted. Yeah.
dude. So for the
Because
weekend, I think
Pan powers. Yeah, that's why. Because
yeah,
Pan powers spawn at all the North America regions. So with
bro,
the rain, dust boosts. Great times for Pan
bro,
powers.
my XLs blew up for Panpour
Dude,
over that weekend.
how many you got? Because I got a
Bro,
lot too.
bro, I got a lot. Okay, so we're gonna compare visually here on the YouTube, but we will obviously talk about it as well. Dude, I blew up from like 176 to that. Oh my god. Okay, Caleb has more than double
Yeah.
mine.
He's got
More than double.
700 something. I got 1,691.
Bro, that's the thing though. Once you build one level 50 Panpour, do you need any more?
Yeah, I mean the shadow version, man.
Oh, come on. Anyway, so I think I'm about the same. On Sunday, I was about 300K, but over the weekend, I did about 500, which
Yeah,
is
dude.
pretty cool.
I broke 2 million in a long time.
Yo,
Yeah,
let's
I spent a
go.
bunch though on Mewtwo racing. We'll talk about more about that later. But
Okay.
yeah, I finally broke 2 million. I'm under 2 million again. But yeah, so it was cool though. I actually caught a Shundo Fennekin. Yeah,
Dude,
it was. I was hanging out with
legit.
Kaiser and Jokes, and
Mhm.
and I was catching it. It was like a 710 Fennekin. I just saw it was shiny. I was catching it, and then Jokes right next to me. He's like, "Yo, the 710 Fennekin is 100." Well, I was like, "Wait."
Ah,
I was like, "The shiny I'm catching right now." I was like, "I'm pretty sure the one is 710, right?" I catch it. It's 710. Him and Kaiser are looking over. We're like, "Oh, praise it, praise it!" I praise it, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, it's a Shundo!" And like we like freaked out, and like I feel kind of bad because the broadcast is still going on. So like it's almost like the crowd, like parts of the crowd were freaking out, and you almost think like something happened on stream, but like nothing active was going on. So I assume maybe people in the Ghost section thought it was like TCG or VGC something going on there, but no, it's just my Shundo.
dude, who knows? Maybe one day we need to get like a camera walking around the venue during a community day. That'd be cool.
Dude, yeah, my hat fell off when in excitement.
Nice.
It was. But yeah. Anyway, so what a great time. Looking forward to this upcoming weekend in Milwaukee. I'll be commentating at that one. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
And then Fresno coming up the weekend after. And then I think we have a 1 or 2 week break, and then NAIC as well too. Yo, so many tournaments. Actually, also this upcoming weekend, shout out to the other regionals as well. Torino and Santiago. Chile as well. So we got Europe tournament and Latin America tournament as well. 3 tournaments right after moveset update. Literally, the update goes live a day before, right? Like we're talking about this update, but it hasn't even gone live yet. So you can't even test stuff yet until like tomorrow. So it's gonna be wild times. I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen. You know, it's a lot of updates, but you know, some of it feels a little like boom bursty with liquidation and leafage everywhere. But you know, but there's a lot of good stuff there too. Yeah. Before we get into that stuff, though, let's talk about some of the other stuff that's happened. Master Ball is released. I got my Master Ball. I don't know if you got your Master Ball yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. You didn't get it yet?
Nah, not
what,
yet.
What are you stalling on your task roll? You wait to claim like the extra 1,000 dust at an event or something?
Yeah, bro. I gotta win these Stardust bets somehow. No, what's the storyline?
It's the Let's Go. It's a Let's Go quest line.
Let's go quest line. All right, I'm scrolling. I got Valorous Hero level 50 challenge.
Oh my gosh,
dude, it was actually funny. I was showing how Stark all my uncompleted research at Hartford, and he was getting super triggered, man. He was like, "Oh, dude, don't show me that." Oh, I can't look at that. Oh, dude, how Stark. He was flustered.
Yeah. Yeah. And
All right, I just
you know I enjoy seeing how Stark flustered. So,
dude. Okay, I claim the research.
yeah.
Now I have to catch 25, defeat 3 rockets, make 3 excellence, evolve 5. We're getting there. We're getting there.
What part of the task is that? Like 7 out of 8? Oh, 5 out of 6.
5 out of
Okay.
6.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well,
All right.
yeah, dude. Dude. Also, I saw Robin Sparkles on Twitter too. Accidentally used a Master Ball. Dude, this is like,
dude.
it's
Okay,
unfortunate
yes.
too because I get it, right?
Please
So
preface this because this is a huge thing.
yeah, so she must have been like walking a Galarian Articuno, I think, earlier. But you know how sometimes when you switch off a buddy, a Zorua can spawn still as your old buddy. So my guess is she's probably using her daily incense, and then from daily incense, a Galarian Articuno spawn, quote unquote. It was like 2,900 CP or something. Turned out to be a Zorua when she used a Master Ball. Yeah,
dude, I would be
unfortunate.
furious.
Yeah, she tweeted about it too. Hopefully, I don't know if Niantic can sort that out or not, but
dude, I would be big mad. Tell us in the comments or on social how mad you would be if you actually freaking caught a Zorua with a freaking Master Ball.
Dude, it's
Oh,
wild.
no.
And I mean, Galarian Burst makes sense to spend, right? That's probably the best thing to use on a Master Ball these days,
Yeah.
unless you have like a hundo that's about to run you on your last ball, maybe from a raid.
Mhm.
But yeah, one of my patrons actually caught a 98% Galarian Zapdos with Master Ball. Wild, because you don't know the IVs beforehand, right? But
That's
yeah,
legit.
pretty incredible. But yeah,
Dude,
hopefully that works out for Robin Sparkles. If not, she's probably the first one in the world to catch a Zorua with a Master Ball. So,
dude, let's talk about this real quick. I think we talked about it before. It would be such a huge flex to throw out like a PvP Pokemon with a Master Ball. Like this is my Medicham coming out of my Master Ball. Like see the purple ball flying out, dude.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone at Worlds this year will have a Pokemon in a Master Ball?
I don't think
anyone.
So.
You don't think
like,
so?
Again, like you don't know the IV spreads. Like why would you spend it on like?
I mean, unless your buddy next to you caught a hundo.
True, right?
And you
like,
look at it and you're like, oh,
yeah, but what's a hundo for? What's a shundo from Great League that you use? Wobbuffet's like purified, right?
Shiny Alolan Sandshrew.
That's so specific, dude. If you make it the worlds with shiny Alolan Sandshrew, I don't know. Yeah, boss form though.
It doesn't have to be a hundo, right? Like you could be next to somebody and they say, "Oh my god, I just caught the rank 1 Azumarill," and then you click on it and it's shiny, and you're like, "All right, Master Ball it up."
Everyone that qualified for Worlds, you heard the challenge here. Be the first one on stage to throw a Master Ball at Worlds,
dude. That would be such a flex.
That could be you. We'll definitely point it out. And if we miss it, then man, someone sue us because that's a shame that we missed that.
And be real, there's going to be more than one Master Ball, right? I mean, they're not going to release.
No, you think so?
Yes, dude. There would be more buildup, right? They just released this one. They said, "Okay, it's out."
You only get one in the main series game. How could you get multiple here?
I mean,
except for like back in the day in the silver and gold, you were able to dupe it and stuff in the Poke Center.
I mean, come on,
that's not like typically a thing, though.
You really think Niantic would just drop this once in a lifetime item? You can even buy team medallions. Nothing in Go is permanent.
Yeah, but this goes to main series canon lore, right? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below if you think Speedy's right on this one. Now, I'm actually, I get what you're saying, but for this one, I'm leaning towards like this is a once in a lifetime thing, which is why I might just hold on to my Master Ball forever, unless like it's like a hundo shadow something, and I'm on my last ball, right? I would probably use a Master Ball there, but that's about it.
Nah. Yeah, I think honestly, my theory, and then we can move on. My theory is that we're gonna get one Master Ball per year. That's my theory.
Oh my goodness! Wow, you really upped in the stakes here. Just
saying.
I'm still waiting for Wooloo to spawn more than once a year, right? That hasn't happened yet.
We might get some Wooloos.
Yeah,
soon.
Yeah, and speaking of hundo shadows, how you like this transition? Shadow raids, baby. We got some shadow raids now here too, and it started this past weekend. And pros and cons. Some people like it, some people don't. You can only raid them in person, right? We had the first shadow raid debut with Shadow Mewtwo, and then I think there's going to be Shadow Articuno coming up in later next month, this upcoming month.
Sounds right.
But just on the weekends. But yeah, shadow raids only do in person, and the first set was Shadow Mewtwo starting this past weekend. I do think it's a good one to debut. Especially if there's no issues and stuff. And it didn't seem like there were really any issues, especially in Australia and New Zealand. I know Michael Staranko went all the way to Australia just to make sure that it was going smoothly and they had a representative there. So Good
Yes.
on him and good on Niantic to someone out there for that. But yeah, Shadow Mewtwo. So we had a whole event with Shadow Mewtwo and everything and all that stuff. And yeah, I mean, you Ray alluded to it earlier, but you didn't do a single one, right? Did you try
Nope.
to?
No. I was in the car, and I think Saturday I went down to Louisiana, and then Sunday I think I was in no, we went to Hattiesburg on Monday. So Sunday I was in Picayune. Saturday I was in Louisiana. And no, like I would drive around, I would see them, right? I look at the lobby and there'd be nobody in the
Uh,
lobby. And I'm just like, all right, well, I'm only my one account. Like there's nothing I can do. I just
even
missed
if
out.
you had 2 or 3 accounts, which that's against COS, but even if you did, you can't do
Yeah.
it. Like it
And then
takes a
there
lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. And not only yeah, that was to the point that Justin made earlier, right? Like
Mhm,
even if you could get like one or two friends to help you, it's not enough. So like
mhm.
why make it in person only but also harder? I don't get it.
Yeah, with the gems. Yeah, you had to use the purified gems. The purified gems, they like didn't fully consume them, so I do appreciate that because like there's no way you get enough gems to do like back to back to race, right? If you just
Sure.
had some stored, like it just saved them for you, which is kind of nice. But yeah,
Mhm.
it was tough. It was tough. I did a few on Saturday. I had to call up some friends to come down to where I live to like do some nearby, which was still a struggle. Like we're struggling with like 4 to 5 people. Um, and then Sunday I did a couple more. I kind of slept in a little bit, so I didn't do a ton. But I just drove down to Santa Monica, and the only reason why we were able to do all these is because Santa Monica was spoof for heaven. There were like 20 plus people lobbies ever, but that's
Yeah.
like reliably that's the most reliable way, which is unfortunate, right? Like I think it's a cool system, but not allowing remotes and stuff, having a remote raid limit, and then it's just like encourages spoofing. I think, right?
I
Which
keep
is
thinking back. I keep thinking back to that tweet you made a few weeks ago about how Niantic is trying to encourage certain behaviors, but they don't put anything in place to facilitate that behavior.
yeah.
And I definitely think that's still the case. I mean, like you said, I still want to hear your experience with Campfire, but like you said, Campfire is like it. Otherwise, all the local Discord communities are really relying on us again to do our own thing, which is, you could argue, a bit unfair.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a lot of even active local raid discords anymore in LA, and if there are, I'm not in them. But I tried using Campfire. I really did. I give it an honest shot. And coordination was just like impossible. Like they're just, like I said, I live in LA, and there's a lot of people in LA, one of the biggest cities. A lot of people play Pokemon Go in LA, and even then it was hard, right? Outside of Santa
Yeah,
Monica. And I think a lot of people just went down to Santa Monica in general just because they're like, well, why not? But like it was like a 40 plus minute drive for me to do like a few raids, and I was just raiding
yeah,
with spoofers, right? Like I was with a friend and we couldn't even get into the same lobby because that's how many spoofers there were. Like we go in the lobby at the same time, but we're different 20-person lobbies. But
it's
it's just
unfortunate.
how it is, unfortunately. It's just how it is. I'm sure some people had like successful raid days and stuff, but like it's just like it's just you can't say because there was success in like the top 15 to 20% of people that it was like that's like the standard, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not the standard, it's not the norm, right?
yeah,
And even if it's a norm, right? Even if 51% of people had a great time, 49% of people still could not do a single one, right? And this game's
hmm
built on
hmm
FOMO. You can't even trade shadow Pokemon, right? Uh, I will say too, my thoughts as well is that the shiny rates are really low. I didn't get a single
yeah.
shiny. I mean, I didn't do a ton. I did like maybe over 10, but I didn't get a single
Still,
shiny. But like, but there were a lot of people that did like 40 plus and they got one shiny. So there's that. Not great. The IV floor is like 666 is weird, dude. It's such a weird situation because like if we have Shadow Regis and raids, yeah, we want the 666 whatever, right? But for the most part, the vast majority of Shadow Legendaries, we want high IVs, right? What are you going to do with a 678 Shadow Ho-Oh, right? What are you going to do with a 10 like 611 Mewtwo, right? Like it's just and like to make from Master League, not only is that a ton of Stardust and a ton of XL candies, you're gonna make a subpar one, like, and you can't trade them, you can't lucky
yeah,
trade them, right? So,
yeah.
um, I think this. I mean, yes, Purifying could bump everything up to 2, but like if you equalize it out, that's only a 888 floor, right? So
Yeah. It,
like it just it's very hard. Like yeah, people posting like Shadow Hundo Mewtwo's on Twitter, but like that is not easy to get right with those odds.
yeah, I think there's like two things to consider, right? Niantic keeps saying they want it to be a forever game. and I get it because I've started to feel a little bit of that, especially if you look at like XLs, right? For example, we were talking about the Panpour, right? In my mind, I'm never going to build more than one of a level 50 something unless I'm building just some super hardcore raid team, right?
Yep.
If I want like 6 level 50 metagross, that might be
Yep.
like the exception where I
Right.
absolutely go wild for that. And the amount of effort that it takes to do that is exponentially greater than just to make one, right?
Mhm.
So I guess I can see where like the grind should be incentivized. And you look at shadows, and in particular Shadow Mewtwo, right? One of the top raid attackers in the entire game per damage output. That's obvious, right? So I think like it's this seesaw effect where you have on one side you have make it a forever game so that people like grind these shadows and they want to actually keep hunting them in order to get good ones for raids, and we keep them on the hamster wheel and we keep them playing, right? Because once you get a couple of Hundo Shadow Mewtwo's, maybe you call it and you don't do raids anymore, and
Mhm.
you're done with that objective. And then on the other side of that, a seesaw is accessibility, right? Like, is it fair to ask people to do dozens and dozens and dozens of Shadow Mewtwo's just to get one that's a viable raid attacker? Or, for example, not even Mewtwo, but like Shadow Machop, right, in the raids. Is it fair to ask people to just raid them over and over and over again, or to get a Shadow Hundo, or to get a PvP viable Machamp, right?
Right. Yep.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and we'll definitely get more into some of the thoughts on that too when we get into our T segment with Michael beyond Zoe's video. But yeah, it's so expensive. Like it's
Yeah.
this. I mean, like it's not like if you play Scarlet Violet or in the main series game, like you can have a team ready and built in like a weekend, right?
Uh-huh.
Like this is like, do you spend a weekend catching stuff? You might be able to power something up halfway, right?
Dude,
Like
I remember
it's
talking to our TCG casters, man. They said you can go buy all the cards you need to run Mew
mhm.
V Star right now.
Yeah,
And you can just do it for like, 20, $30 or so, and then you can
yeah.
just go to a tournament and compete.
Yeah, you could use a winning deck and compete, right? The hard part is learning the game inside out. But I mean, that's the same thing with Go, right? If you want to compete and stuff, you still have to learn the mechanics, accounts, and stuff. But having a team ready is also a grind in itself, right? Like it's hard to have the time to study all the stuff if you're grinding stuff, right? Like we
Yeah.
our co-caster Frosted Caribou like spent forever trying to make her meta champ, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you
Tons of
know,
raids.
yeah, tons of raids, tons of raids.
Back
So
back when you could remote in to Mega Metacham.
true, true. Back when you can remember, you can't even do that anymore. So,
Right.
um,
Well, one
yeah.
final thing I'll say here before we move on to the next thing. One positive thing I've seen is that our friend, Shiny Hunter Ben, says that the lower level shadow raids have gotten him out of the house. He's
Mhm.
actually like walking over to a gym and using his free pass, because a Hundo Shadow Machamp is worth a daily free pass, or a better Shadow Machamp for Ultra League is worth it. So I actually think that's a really viable point, especially if you're like doing the slow grind to get upgrades on IVs.
You really think that's better than a Regigigas?
Yeah.
Unless you're Marto Galde, no one's really rating
That-
Regigigas. Come on now.
that's true.
Yeah. The other thing with the Shadow Mewtwo is like, there were no rare XL candies. Like what? They were in-person rates. Like I don't think they were really dropping at all, which is weird. Like the rewards are a little measly. Like I get it. Like the Shadow Mewtwo is a nice reward, but 99+% of the time, that Shadow Mewtwo is going to be trash. So hopefully you got some nice rewards. You can't even trade them. You can't even trade them for XLs. You have to spend 20K to purify them, then to trade them. Like it's not
Yeah.
worth it. You might as well just transfer, right?
Yeah.
Like some of my legends I save just to like re-roll with people, right? Just to get an
Mhm.
extra XL and maybe a chance for Hundo. Dude, that's too much investment. So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. I mean, I think it's I think I will say I think Niantic is taking in the feedback, right? So we do appreciate. I mean, I do appreciate that we do have shadow raids, right? Something new,
Sure.
something different, right? A way to get it, right? Because getting just one shadow radar like every 3 months is not enough for a shadow Pokemon that you might not even want, right?
Yeah.
But I do appreciate that they are adding them so that there is a way to get them. But for some people, there really still isn't a way to get them. So just something to think about, I think. But
Yeah.
we do appreciate updates and stuff like that and the different events. But
Yeah.
this one mixed reviews. I mean, I didn't have a bad time, but again, like being realistic, like there's no way I do these raids if I'm not living in like a very big
Yeah.
city, right?
And for me, dude, I'm so desperate for a Hundo Mewtwo. I would have caught a 98 Shadow and purified it. Like,
Dude.
that's just the way I am.
Yeah, for 50, 50, 14?
No. I keep it Shadow. Keep it
Okay,
Shadow.
okay. It was like a
96.
14. Okay. Or a
96%.
14, 15, 15 too, right? You don't want to lose CMP
Yeah.
there too.
I don't lose
That's a tough
CMP
one.
now.
Hey, move out to LA, man. Got you covered.
All right.
Or I should say the spoofers in Santa Monica got you
Right.
covered.
We as they used to call it, air support. We got air support.
Yeah, air support for sure. All right. Before we get into the new season update, we got another community on the horizon. Man, I just feel like we just came out of Fennekin, but here we
Yeah.
are. So
I'm hyped for this one.
Yeah, you want to take it?
Dude,
With
for
the info?
sure.
All right, let's hear it.
Yeah. So the next upcoming community day is June 10th. It's one of the most badass, shiny third tier evolutions in the entire game. We get Axew Community Day, and with that, we get our shiny Haxorus, right? I know the shiny Axew has been out raids prior, right? That's fine, but I still want a chance at the elusive Shundo Haxorus for Master League Premier, right? Event bonuses 3 times catch XP, you get 2 times candy, 2 times chance for XL candy, you get lure modules. Incense activated during the event will last for 3 hours, take snapshots, etc. You can also battle the Fracture in raids. Fracture has limited viability in some cups as well, but it's really tough to use. I wouldn't recommend it. But what I really am looking forward to, because I actually have a lucky Haxorus that I play in Master League Premier sometimes. It's a 14,
really?
15, 15. And it is
You maxed it
badass,
out
dude.
already?
No. It's back when
It was Premier. Yeah.
Premier in
Yeah,
level
gotcha,
40,
gotcha.
yeah. But I will say I have 243 XL Axew candies because I've been trading every single one I've caught.
Oh,
And
well,
this
you're good now because you're going to be plenty. You have plentiful in a week and a half. I only have
yeah,
134.
exactly.
Yeah,
Dude, I really want the Shundo Haxorus. It's black and red. It looks so sick.
dude.
It's like Rayquaza, kind of. Mega Rayquaza.
And speaking of which, it's also getting Breaking Swipe too, which is a move
Yeah.
that Rayquaza only has at the moment. So if you don't
Ooh.
know, too, Breaking Swipe, it debuffs your opponent's attack power, but also does a decent amount of damage too. I mean, especially from a hard hitting Pokemon like Haxorus. That'll be interesting. That'll be
Dude,
interesting.
it
This
adds
is
up.
actually happening during Fresno, but it'll be fine. June 10th, Saturday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. But you do have the discounted trade costs, and you get an extra special trade. So if you have Fresno, or just with your community in general, just a great time to swap and stuff. So,
Dude, two shout outs I want to make real quick. The first is to our world champ Dancing Rob. He finally got his Lundo Axew just like a couple weeks ago, and he got it from Mish, right?
Yeah.
Second shout out I want to make is to No Fun Pain Done, who runs the Unified Tournament format. He loves Haxorus, loves the hell out of that Pokemon, right? He actually designed a meta over a year ago where Haxorus was the #1 pick in the entire meta. And I know that our two friends, Rob
funny.
and Dunn, are going to be really excited about this one.
Yeah, definitely. Triple XP for catching Pokemon too, so great for those that still need to level up. But yeah, it should be a good one. And if not, I'm not mistaken, isn't this upcoming season, GBL season / Pokemon season in general, guaranteed XLs for trades?
That's a good question. I believe it is.
Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick as we get into the new season news as well here too. I don't know, maybe it's not on their website, but I could have sworn it is. And if that's the case, hey man, I'm going to be swapping. I'm saving as many Axews as I can in Fresno. So hit me up. We're going to do some swaps, right? I need to do some swaps because I don't have a hundo yet. And maybe we'll go lucky or just get a random hundo from trades, but save your Axews for me, please. We'll do some trades. I'll save my Axews for you if you needed to. But speaking of the new season, we're recording this on Wednesday, so like only a few hours before you hear this if you hear on release. But starting tomorrow, June 1st, Hidden Gems, Go Battle League, new season. Hidden Gems in general, just for new season in general. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. So we are starting with Great League and Summer Cup, Great League, all that stuff. Blah blah blah. We have some 2-week metas too, which I appreciate because I think the 1-week metas were just like a little quick. We have a Go Battle weekend, July 1st to the 2nd, which is occurring during NAIC, but it is during a whole weekend, and not everyone's going to NAIC. So maybe you can battle from home if you're watching. It'll be a good time. And then they actually have a Pokemon Go World Championships event as well from the 11th to the 15th of August. And
last year's was sick.
Yeah, last year's was sick. Would love to see something like that again. Pikachu Libre's back again, and hopefully this time around I will not transfer once I hit Legend. If I hit Legend, but we'll see about that. And this is something I'm really happy about. We got a bunch of encounters and stuff like that, typical stuff. But we got Phalanx and Wooloo in the encounters for GBL, starting from
Let's
rank 16 and
go.
above.
That is awesome. Dude, we need Wooloo so bad. I have the Hundo. I have a Hundo Best Buddy double, but I can't build it for
Oh, you
Ultra because I
do?
don't have the
Oh, dude, I'm
XLs.
still looking for the
Yes.
Hundo, man. I have a
Yeah, bro.
98 I've been using for Great League because it's my
Oh,
only one.
nice.
So I've been using Great League 98 spread, yeah. Yeah, and then, dude,
Yeah.
what?
Got
That's
it.
wild. That's wild. Did you do it from a trade? How did you get that?
No. I caught it in the wild
Oh, wow.
back in Tampa, and I walked 67 kilometers with it total, but
Dude, you have not walked that much with it.
I still only have 41 XLs, dude. That's a
Yeah, I know, because you
travesty.
only walked 67 kilometers. What did you expect?
Oh,
Dude,
dude.
I haven't even walked a Wooloo yet, but I did trade a bunch because I thought that maybe double would be good one day if it gave it a moveset update, which it
Mm,
did, right?
yep.
So I did trade a bunch after the spotlight hour from years ago, but I don't have the hundo. Yeah.
Yeah,
I gave my
that's
friend a
all right.
lucky hundo though. So
Ooh,
he's probably
Orlando.
loving that.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, we definitely need some Wooloos here too. I mean, honestly, that's a great Pokemon to use a lucky trade on. That's non-special
Yes.
because you need the Hundo for Ultra League, or you could do some like weird Best Buddy spreads. But like, it's just not worth it in my opinion because there's so many things that need Best Buddy. Yeah, I have
Yep.
189 XL candies
Ooh,
and
you're a lot closer
1,500
than me.
candies. Yeah, but the problem is like I just don't have the Hundo. I only have one, and it's
Yeah.
my Great League one. Anyway, we have a bunch of different cups too. I mean, that is what it is. The most important part is we have updates for PvP.
Yes.
Actually, I did a tier list on stream. I'll release a YouTube video later on my main channel as well. Main channel, my only channel, my only YouTube channel. But uh, a tier list of stuff, and I tried tier list all the different changes and stuff. But we have liquidation, charge attack, which is essentially a water move, chance of lowering opponent's defense by one stage. Same thing as crunch, essentially water variant, and then leafage is a fast attack, which
Yep.
is essentially grass fast attack. Same clone essentially with bullet punch, which Metagross
Yes.
uses, and
Not
sometimes
bad.
Scizor. That's it. It's not the best move, I will say, bullet punch, and I don't think Leafage will be because again, Metagross and Scizor don't use bullet punch because it's good. They use it because that's the best they have. But that being said, attack changes to Icicle Spear, 5 extra damage on it. Poison Fang, 5 extra damage on it. Pretty good because those will definitely help out Nidoqueen and Walrein be more relevant again because they've been pretty much extinct in the past 6 months.
Yeah, they have.
Rollouts, does 1 more damage, which might not seem like a lot, but it definitely could add up in certain matchups because Dunsparce, you can't really roll out anything down at the
Yes.
moment. Mud Bomb, 5 extra damage. That's gonna be a big one to help check Lantern and stuff, and the Mud Boys
Mm-hmm.
are gonna be thriving. And this is
Toxicroak, Whiscash.
yeah, Toshkirk as well with Cash. Unova Stunfisk too. Um, C Bomb, this is a big reason why Mud Boys are gonna be thriving, is increasing in damage by 5 damage, but the energy cost is also going to increase. This energy cost is such a big deal that it
Mm-hmm.
bumps Trevenant down to rank like 674 or 75 on the PvPoke Great League rankings.
Yikes.
Take a guess. I want you to take a guess, and people at home can take a guess too. What
Okay.
do you think is the highest ranked grass Pokemon at the moment for this upcoming season after these changes? The highest ranked one on performance.
I was gonna say Chestnut.
Nope.
It's either Chestnut or Venusaur.
Nope. It's not.
What?
You're never gonna guess this one.
Is it level 50 or is it
No, it's not. It's not. It's like a
Credilli?
no. Not even Cordelia.
Tropius.
No. I told you you're never gonna get this.
No, what is it?
Lurantis.
Oh, come on.
At
The Sim
40,
Hero.
at spot 40, the highest ranked grass is a Lurantis. Obviously, I think overall, like Venusaur and I mean even Cordelia or Chestnut can perform better than Lurantis, but
Yeah.
that just goes to show how irrelevant grass types are going to be in the near future.
Well,
Yikes.
I think that statement in general, I don't know if that will hold up because I think Lantern Medicore is going to be really popular, and I like Venusaur against that a lot.
Yeah, but here's the problem: a lot of ice types got buffs, and let's get into it. And this is why it gets really tricky to use grass types. But not only that, this is why Lantern's going to be really strong. These ice types are also going to check dragon types. Also going to make dragons really hard to use, which are the 2 main checks to Lantern. You
Yup.
got ground types, but it's got water moves, right? So it's like tricky. Alone Sandslash gets Drill Run, which is a straight upgrade. Same amount of damage as Bulldoze, but just less energy, right? And Alone Sandslash is already kind of killing it in some ways, especially Shadow form. Clefable gets Fairy Wind. It's like nothing crazy, but could be interesting in some cups. Wigglytuff gets Disarming Voice. A little better for Wigglytuff, but still
Ultra League Clefable. Ultra League Clefable with Fairy Wind is going to be...
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, that could be pretty good, actually. Yeah. Golduck is now... So here's the thing with Fairy Wind Clefable, though. I checked this in comparison. Sylveon, you don't need XL for Ultra League to power up, right? Clefable, you do need XLs. Their stat product is very similar. Despite Clefable needing XLs. Yeah, I remember looking into this. I was like, what's the point of making a Clefable when you could just make a Sylveon, right? Because I remember I think Jonathan Kelly drafted it in ADL Ultra League draft. He drafted Clefable when Sylveon was around. And we're like, dude, you're just drafting a more expensive Sylveon, right? Because Sylveon also... Wait, no, Sylveon doesn't have Fairy Wind. It has Quick Attack. So yeah, I mean, Fairy Wind's a little different there, but...
The difference here is that Clefable cannibalizes all the other fairies because it has Meteor Mash.
That's fair.
It's going to annihilate all the Sylveons, and especially the A9s, dude. Double super effective against A9.
That's fair. I'll give you that. Okay, maybe save some utility. All right. Well, good thing it has Fairy Wind now. Golduck is now able to learn Liquidation. Nothing crazy. But Dugong learns Drill Run. Huge coverage for steals and for but also on top of that for opposing water and ice types, right? That's going to be big because before it was throwing Icy Wind like at resisted, like double resisted against Lapras, like it was just doing nothing, right? So Drill Run would definitely help with some coverage there, and it also owns Liquidation. Probably not a strong recent run Liquidation outside maybe some niche meadows. Cloyster also has Liquidation, Vaporeon as well. These Armaldo, Floatzel also getting Liquidation. Nothing crazy about those, but just want to throw them out there. Togetic also gets Fairy Wind. Not that great, but maybe good for some limited meadows.
Yeah.
Quagsire gets Mud Bomb. This is a big one because Mud Bomb got buffed. Quagsire also doesn't have to go straight for Earthquake anymore. It makes it essentially like it's already kind of cousin to Whiscash, but it even mirrors more so because now they both have Mud Bomb and they both have a hard hitting coverage move like Stone Edge or Blizzard. Technically, Quagsire also Sludge Bomb too, and Acid Spray, a bunch of things actually. But the thing I like about this is that Quagsire and Whiscash have utility where Swampert doesn't in some ways because Swampert has to go all the way to Earthquake to take out something like a Lantern in one shot, right? Obviously, you could go straight Hydro Cannons and 2 shields and still win, which is kind of wild. But you could just go straight Mud Bombs on Quagsire and Whiscash, which is nice, right? And even against stuff like Galarian Stunfisk, makes the matchup a little more interesting. So except for that, Quagsire, Shadow Quagsire definitely moving up in the rankings too. Will we see it this weekend?
Ooh, we could, or next weekend.
We'll see. Or next weekend. Hey, bring your Basty counters, man. I'm just saying. Tyranitar is now able to learn Brutal Swing. It is what it is. It's not really relevant for anything except for maybe Halloween Cup for those Rockhold teams.
Or some raids.
Yeah, Cordelia learning Rock Slide. I was kind of hating on this one originally, but this actually allows Cordelia to beat Knockdown all even shields and able to beat Altaria, I think, with a Bullet Seed advantage. Kind of wild, actually.
Not bad. Then you think about the Lantern matchup being pretty good too.
Not bad, but not better than Lurantis, according to P-Poke. Driplim also is able to learn Mystical Fire. That's actually a big one, too, because now it has coverage against Registeel. It could beat Registeel now in 1 shield and 2 shield, which is pretty big. Big.
I learned this back in the day in Go Battle League, but there's no shot you're going to lock on down a Drifblim with Registeel. It has way too much HP. I survived with like 1 to 5 HP multiple times in Registeel matchups back in the day. Dude, there is no shot.
Exactly.
You can win that.
So that's going to be interesting, but we'll talk more about this later. Lantern is looking kind of scary, though. Snover, Abomasnow are both learning Leafage, as well as Rowlet, Dartrix, Decidueye. None of these are super relevant, I think. I mean, maybe for Little Cup, some of the pre-evolutions are, but Decidueye is not going to be good in any shape, way, or form.
What meta was it where Decidueye...
Sunshine Cup, yeah.
Dude, Decidueye with Leafage in Sunshine would have been...
I don't know. I think they wanted to run DJ and Razorleaf, but maybe, yeah. I don't know. It was so frail, though. Like, I threw a Bulldoze from my Big Rock and almost took it out.
Yeah, fair.
Yo, my favorite. Probopass learning Zap Cannon, man.
Yo, talk about an upgrade, bro. Hey, I'll tell you what. Hey, look.
If you land a Zap Cannon in a play tournament, let me know.
The best steal the best steal in Great League Remix is gonna be Empoleon unless something comes up, but the second best steal is gonna be Probopass, dude.
Dude, at that point, just don't run a second steal. Dude,
Damn it.
how much you got? You got to farm down like an all target to get to that Zap cannon.
It's true.
Heatran is now up to learn Earth Power, which unfortunately actually doesn't help that much because it's just Groudon's so good. Groudon Kyogre is so good. Like Heatran's so hard to use in Master League. Like I've tried it,
dude.
it's not easy.
But what about the Nihilego matchup, dude? Double super effective against Nihilego. Come on.
Dude, Nihilego, dude. I did lose a couple Nihilegos in Master League recently. But like I was just like, dude, like what the like it's so weak to Dialga. Like it's such a risk to bring it. But they kept getting locked into my Lugia and Ho-Oh, so I couldn't do anything. Yeah.
Only if you go Zacian hunting. That's when Nihilego's actually
true. Yeah, I didn't have a Zacian. I mean, I guess it's not bad against the Flyers like Ho and Lugia and then the Fairies. So maybe there's some
rock.
Yeah. Samra is now out to learn Liquidation as well. Caracasta as well. Dude, there's a bunch of Liquidations, like I said. Samra, Caracasta, Electros, Beartick, all Liquidation. Nothing great. Golisopod learn Liquidation is something, though. I will say that. That does give it, like, that's something that actually needs a better water move than Aqua Jet. So, I'm saying it here. Golisopod, one update away from being something really good in Ultra League, I think. It has Shadow Claw, Liquidation. It needs a better second charge move. But
thank you. Yeah, dude, Golisopod has one of the most badass designs. I think that Pokemon needs upgrades, dude. It needs to be viable. It looks so cool.
I caught a rank 1 last year, I think, in Milwaukee or NAIC. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Someone else listening might have that same rank 1 from one of these events. Yeah, rank 1 for Ultra League. I don't think I have a great one for Great League, but
I have a rank 5 for Ultra.
Okay.
That's all the best I got.
All right. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you go win CMP and stuff. Yeah. Oh, you're ready to evolve it
zero
too.
Season
I'm
13.
Ready. What does that mean?
Oh no, it's an old tag. But I have a bunch of stuff I'm gonna build on stream.
Dude, you've been saying this for like a year straight, man. I feel like he's been like actually almost a year straight.
I was on vacation, all right?
Yeah. No one believes this, man. You said you were gonna build stuff at 10 million dust. You're almost at 20 million.
Dude, almost?
You pretty much are. You building something when GBL goes live tomorrow?
Yes. I'm at 20,267,000.
Hey, don't forget to build that Bastion, man. You gotta do that Bastion still. Hot chip too, man. Don't worry. I'm making sure he gets it after this podcast. Get it for next week.
I need to build a Shadow Hundo Camerupt as well.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. That as well.
It's all there.
A bunch of things. Whimsicott learned Seed Bomb, but with the Seed Bomb like buff / nerf, it's kind of weird. Because you have Grass Knot, right? It doesn't really help it that much. Seed Bomb is actually more, potentially, I think, more energy efficient, but just like you need to spam building more.
And it's a little bit quicker. Yeah, it's a little bit. Sorry, I keep on jumping in. It's a little bit quicker. It could be good in Little Cup, right? Because it's a few. Well, I guess you're playing. You're playing
Cottony, though.
Cottony. No, never mind.
Yeah.
Screw that. Just delete that part. Cut that out. Emoga with acrobatics, dude.
Dude, don't go butters on me.
I'm on it.
This ain't going to be good. What is Emoga? Dude, this is his new Ampharos, right? Like I hate it. Right? He's always hyping up these terrible electrics. At least he's not saying Electros, right? Electros is actually bad. But Emoga, like okay, but like how are you gonna use Emoga and so many glaring Stunfisk and Lanterns around?
Dude, you can't. I hate to say it, Caleb, but your prejudice against electric types is showing, man. You got to show
that Emoga in my Bastion. I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Dude, Emoga wins the 2s against Walrein straight discharge. All right? The acrobatics one-shots Trevenant. It does 88% damage.
Anymore. No one's bringing Grass types.
It does 88% damage to
This discharge already existed before this update. Don't try to sell me out the discharge. It already had discharge before. It already won that matchup against Walrein.
But dude, I'm just saying. Now wait.
This is new Walrein with extra damage from Ice Sphere?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. That's a lot.
Because you shield both of them. You land the 3rd discharge because you win CMP. Duh.
This is not a matchup I think I need to know, but we'll see. Litwick gets Mystical Fire, which I think is just for Bronzor check, but hey, we need to check that somehow. Primarina gets Disarming Voice, which I think is definitely an upgrade because it just takes a century to get to any of those charge moves. Once it gets Hydro Cannon, even better. So definitely an upgrade for Primarina. Leafage again to Fomantis, Lurantis, nothing great to be honest. And you probably want Fury Cutter on Lurantis and Fomantis, like, dude, I don't know Little Cup meta that well, but I don't think it's that relevant. And then Ursaluna gets Ice Punch. That's actually definitely an upgrade. Having that Ice Punch makes Dragonites consider shielding, even if you're not running it, right? So that's definitely something. But yeah, those are it for the updates. But again, a lot of implications here. A lot of ice types going to be thriving, and grass looking pretty bad. I mean, Swampert already made the Trevenant matchup close, and now it's just going to be even worse for the Trevenant. So it's going to be something else. But yeah, that does it for the updates. Love to see it. It's been 6 long months, but we went from Boom Burst to Liquidation, but this time around, at least we got more than just Liquidation. So
yeah,
I will give it there. And honestly, Liquidation is definitely more relevant than Boom Burst. Like I can actually see like Lispod using it, but
agreed, dude. As we wrap this up, there are a couple cups I'm excited for. I'm glad that Fantasy Cup Ultra League is coming back. I think Great League Remix is actually going to be a lot more fun than people think. And I think that the single type cup is actually going to be really, really good too. Because you have stuff like Kanto Ninetales versus Registeel. You've got Hitmontop versus pure poisons like Muck. It's going to be really wild. It's like it's unlike
Shadow Machamp.
What? Dude, Shadow Machamp versus Meganium. It's going to be really weird and wild, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That could be good, yeah. I actually think that could be good. Hey, let's not forget best grass type in PvP Poke, Lurantis.
Lurantis is in there, yeah.
Lurantis actually could be kind of good. I mean,
yeah.
Are there pure? What's a pure flying type?
Fearow.
No, isn't it normal?
Is it normal? No, it's only what do you call it? Noibat. I'm just looking up pure flying in PvP Poke. Let's see what we got.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, they're dude, that's actually
Fearow is normal, yeah. Noibat? No, Noibat's flying dragon. Are there really no pure flyers? Outside like Thunderous or whatever?
Wait, there has to be.
Am I tripping here?
Yeah, are we tripping?
Yeah, dude. Wait, what? Is this like a unique thing? How did we just realize this? Dude, everything is a dual type flyer, I think. Yo, Lurantis is about to be good.
There are only 4 pure flying type Pokemon. Rookidee, Corvisquire, and the incarnate and Therian forms of Tornadus. That's it.
Wait, what was the first one you said?
Rookidee, which is the pre-evolution of Corviknight, right? Rookidee, Corvisquire, Corviknight is the third.
Dude, so there's literally none in Pokemon Go right now.
None in Go.
Wow, no flyers? Yo, what are you going to use Registeel for? Yo, Lurantis stonks going up, man. I'm just saying.
There's fire, and there's also flying coverage, and there's lots of poison too. So,
wait, what do you mean flying coverage? What flying coverage?
Anything that learns like Aerial Ace, anything that learns Sky Attack. Like you could run Hawlucha with Aerial Ace.
It's flying fighting.
Oh, my bad.
yeah. Yeah. What is there with Aerial Ace that's a pure type?
Let's see. Surfetched.
Is Surfetch going to beat Lurantis? I feel like the Leaf Blades do more damage than the flying moves.
Who knows, man?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you might be able to counter down. Actually, no, you probably win that because you resist a Fear Cutter. You just counter down, I think.
Superior has Aerial Ace. The Superior Grass, right?
You're right for that, for sure. No. Well, speaking of next season, we gotta come up with a bet too.
Dude, Rufflet. Wait, no, Rufflet's normal flying. Crap. Anyway, it's gonna be good. Yeah, dude, we got to come up with some bets. Today's the 31st as of the recording and launch. Sorry about being a little on the late side, but
yeah,
we gotta figure it out.
You want to come up with a mini bet?
A mini bet?
Yeah. So I need some commitment from you on this one, right?
Let's think about this. Right?
A mini bet first, right? A mini bet first. All right. So the mini bet is, how many sets do you think it takes for us to get our ELO?
Dude, I'd have to look at how many games you need to win to earn the badges. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just
kind of hard to do.
Dude. Okay. I want everyone who's
first to veteran.
I want everyone who's still listening to actually to weigh in here. If you remember last season, Caleb made fun of me numerous times for taking his bets. So did other people in my life as well. They're like, "Oh, why do you even bet with Caleb anymore? Why do you even do that? Why do you even try that anymore?" And now we're on the next season, and Caleb a week ago was like, "Dude, why do you even bet with me, man? You're gonna lose anyway." Blah, blah. And now Caleb was like, "Yo, you want to make a little bet? You want to make a gateway bet?" So we can jump into like a bigger bet later.
Exactly. Yeah.
The first bet's on me. All right.
Ease you into it.
Yeah.
Ease you
The
into it.
first bet's on me.
First to veteran, I feel like it's pretty fair, especially this upcoming weekend. I'm going to be in Milwaukee and commentating, right? So you got more time to do GBL than me.
True. I might be doing all my sets. I might be streaming again. We'll see.
First to veteran?
What's the consequence? Dude,
I don't know. We got to think of something. I mean, it's a mini bet, right? So it doesn't be too extreme, right?
Race to vet. All right.
I don't know. You think I get a tattoo sometime soon?
How spicy are you gonna be?
No, just you try hard. You can do whatever you want to do.
Try hard, dude. Yeah. You want to start the season going try hard? Come on.
What do you, dude? I feel like you don't even end the season going try hard. So like, I mean, this is your tempo, right? But I'm just saying, how else are you gonna be? I'm not. How long do you want this first veteran race to be? Like 5 months? Like not 5 months, like 2 months, right?
We have different approaches, I think.
Well, no kidding. This is why you're losing the legend bet every season. Wait, speaking of which, did you hit legend yet, or are you close, or what? I know you're GPLing because I've seen you post like some updates to some of our group chats, but I don't know like where Elo's at. What's your Elo?
I got as high as 2960. Right now I'm at 2914.
Oh, wait, have you done any battles today?
No battles today.
Well, you're going to do them today, I assume? You're going to try to, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, are you going to do some tomorrow then, before the season goes live?
If I don't get legend today, then I'll do battles tomorrow.
All right. Well, let's do this veteran bet then. What you thinking? Something small. Let's do something small.
Oh, man.
What's the weirdest Pokemon Center pin we can find?
A weird one?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Maybe you wear something really weird at like a tournament that you have to commentate in the future. The loser. Sorry. I should say you. The loser.
So, dude, you're already pre-programmed, man.
I mean, you know me, right? I got to think ahead of time.
Dude, the Pokemon Center is always out of stock, man. It really sucks.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We'll need to think on this.
Yeah, I'll browse the website, but I think we have tea to cover. I don't want to lose anybody while we're looking at
No, you're good. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the pin idea is not that great. I don't know. We'll have to think of something. But
they just added a Miraidon pin? Oh my god, dude. I think I need to get it.
There's some that definitely can't be the bet consequence here.
No, it's the worst Pokemon ever. let me have it.
Okay, I got something.
The oversized cloth is pretty cringe. It's pretty.
Yeah, the oversized ones though, I wouldn't want you to wear because like they'd be like, "What are you doing?" Right, for like a whole weekend wearing, or for a whole day wearing this. Right? That's
sure.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll need to think. We'll think of something. But you're okay with the veteran bet?
Yeah. Let's lock
it
in.
Let's do it. All right. So we'll start working on it starting tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. So T segment for this week. I don't know if you got a chance to check it out yet, but Michael was on Zoe 2 Dot's YouTube channel. Had like
I've watched the
first video.
I've watched the first 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah. So I was just curious on people's thoughts on that, but overall, I'm glad he went on. He went on. There were definitely some points and takeaways that I had. There was kind of the sentiment that I didn't love, but it was, accessibility, right? People were talking about accessibility for remote raids. Like, it was accessible, now they're gone. Like, and he admitted, he said, you know what, like, if, and you also check it out too, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, search up Zoe 2 Dots on YouTube. It's one of our most recent videos with Michael. You can't miss it. But definitely check out the whole video too. I think it's worth a listen. And they had a great interview. I think Zoe 2 Dots definitely pushed him on certain questions that we want answers to, which was great. So shout out to her and shout out to Michael for even being open to that. Definitely pushed him on some issues, like remote raids was definitely a big thing, right? Especially because he was in Australia to do Shadow Mewtwo's in person, right? So they were able to meet up and stuff. And I remember one specific thing he said was, yes, like they wish, like even he wished, and I think a lot of people probably on Niantic wish that they didn't go straight to remote raids as quickly as they did, because it kind of like made it much harder to revert that, right? To reduce it. They even said, like, even if we reduce the damage on remote raids, like that probably wasn't enough to decentivize people. So they had to limit it and increase the price and everything. And even he was like, yeah, like I used to remote raid a lot. And I get it, because I used to remote raid with Michael, right? We're in some raid groups together and we raid together. So he
Mm-hmm.
definitely was doing remote raids. Like he's not joking. Like he did more remote raids than I did. Like I don't do a lot of. I actually didn't remote raid much at all, but I would send invites to people that were doing remote raids, right? And he was just saying like, yeah, like it is. And so I was like, well, what about accessibility, right? How people that can't play the game, that have accessibility issues, that can't go do these raids or don't have locals and stuff to do the raids with, like how do they work around it? I didn't really love this response from him. In fact, I dislike it. But his response was
Yeah,
like,
I saw this part.
yeah, there's other games, right? There's other Pokemon games out there. Like Go is meant for exploration, but there's other Pokemon games like, Scarlet Violet, other stuff you could play if you really want to play games from home, or maybe you don't have the access. Which is like, he's not wrong,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think that like, even if it was accidental that the remote raids gave people with accessibility issues ability to play more Go, right, and do the raids, it's just like, why take it away, right? Like it's like something that worked out better than expected,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna say, well, it doesn't align with our mission, which I get, but so we're gonna take it away, and if you don't like it, like play a different game, or if you can't adjust to it, play a different game, which is just like, like
Yeah.
just think about the people that enjoyed the game and were enjoyed their online raiding community and were able to do maybe raids, or the amount of raids they did for the first time ever in their life because of accessibility issues, or just general living conditions, like you just don't live in an area where you could do them. And you
Yeah.
say like, after they spend all this money and spend all like the past like 2 years, well, actually no, like almost 3 years actually at this point, right, doing these remote raids, and you just tell them like, you should just play a different game. Like it just, I don't love it. I mean, I do appreciate his honesty, but just like, that just, I don't know. That's not a great way to build trust again and get people back into the game. And
Yeah.
maybe they're okay with that. Maybe they're like, well, that's not our target audience. But it just might, in my opinion, like no one chooses to have accessibility issues. No one chooses to not be able to do raids or live in an area where you can't do these raids, right? That's not by choice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it's not easy or cheap or affordable or feasible for everyone to move to a giant city where they could do these raids or have a community for it. And especially if you have accessibility issues, if you're born with it or it occurred sometime in your lifetime, like it's just like, you don't choose to have these things in your life happen to you. But
Mm-hmm.
allowing remote raids to happen or not is a choice that you can actively make as a company.
Yeah.
And love that. I don't know what your thoughts on that too, but that was like the
Yeah.
biggest thing that I took away from that, which like, that I had, I guess, an issue with, right? A lot of the stuff he said, I will say I agreed
So
with or felt
yeah.
indifferent.
So I want to preface this with the point that Caleb made earlier. For Michael to just basically come out of his paternity leave and then just decide to go on this press tour and talk with the community when he works for a multi-billion-dollar company that has, I'm sure, its own public relations team, and he is actually like standing in the line of fire. I mean, this is like if you worked at a restaurant, right? And your manager was hiding in the back and you had to go deal with like all the bad customers. It just feels like, again, Michael does so much. Like he's obviously got his day-to-day role. He took responsibility for the moveset updates. He took responsibility for the remote raids, and he's doing like PR damage control for the company. Like Michael's doing so many things. And I honestly, like, if we ever talk to him, Caleb, I'm gonna ask, like, Michael, what is your job? Like, what is in your job description, man? Because you're
Mm-hmm.
all over the place. And I want everyone to remember that as an individual, Michael is like putting himself in the line of fire to try to help the community. So we might not love his answers, right? But then again, he answers to other people. He has bosses, right? Just like everyone. And you can tell in the interviews, sometimes he gives answers that he's not comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
that are the company answers, right? And he talks about, like, for example, he talks about with the remote raids, how many resources you got in terms of like rare candies, XP, Stardust, TMs. He looks at that and he says, well, the economy for these items is actually way out of whack, because if you look at the current boxes, for example, for better or worse, you look at the current boxes and the way that they're split up and what they're worth is not the equivalent of 100 coins for one remote raid pass, right? I think we can agree that a lot of the time you got pretty nice rewards for legendary raids, right? So that was his reasoning, right? That's the way he segued into it. And then to your point, to what Caleb's just said, when people ask if I have accessibility issues, should I play Pokemon Go or not? He basically said, if you can't play the game the way that it's designed, you can enjoy the Pokemon property in other ways. And I don't think that's a good answer. Kind of gives me the heebie jeebies too. But Michael is like literally doing his best, and he's basically answering these questions as well as he can without breaking any NDAs or breaking any employment agreements or going against company lines, right? He can't say, "Oh, these opinions are my own," because he's a representative for Niantic.
Mm-hmm.
Like if people ask Caleb and I about the Pokemon Company, right, and asked us to give honest answers about decisions they made, could we just say, "Oh yeah, well, this is our stupid producer's decision, and we actually hate this, and this is dumb, and we should do this instead"? I mean, that would never go over well. That would not go over well for
Yeah.
us, right?
No, definitely not. I mean,
I don't know.
so we are contract too, so our opinions are our own, technically speaking. But Michael's, he's not contracted. He is a Niantic employee, right? So like, there's even more on the line, like you said.
Yeah,
But even then, like we wouldn't. I don't know. There's like certain things we just can't talk about NDA and stuff like
yeah,
that too, right? So there's that. But yeah. And when I say like, oh, I didn't like his response, like I meant like, maybe that's not this response he wanted to say,
yes,
or he feels personally, but he is on that video, on Zoe Two Dots video, as a representative of Niantic, not a representative of Michael Staronka, right? So it's that was just my
yeah,
biggest thing on that too. He did talk about like PvP and stuff, and like trying to make sure things are going to be better. And like this was before the PB update, so obviously like looking on his way up too. He says he takes personal responsibility. I don't know, like you said, right? I was like, I think he's just taking like being a team player here, but like, is it really his role to do PB stuff? Like, I don't think
mhm,
so, right? And he's also on paternity leave. Like, what? Like,
yeah,
there's got to be
yeah,
some placeholder. But either way, I'm glad that we have updates here, and hopefully these are the kind of updates we get every 3 months, not every 6 months.
yes. And
Um,
I'm also very glad we have Michael. Seriously, I
mhm,
mean, love his answers, hate his answers, feel indifferent about his answers. Literally, he's the one that's like standing in the way of in the middle of all this, right? In the
mhm.
way of all the criticism, and is actually trying to give people answers. When again, for better or worse, this is a multi-billion-dollar company that doesn't talk to its players, and Michael is the only one who's stepping up to do it. So if anything, you need to respect Michael. That's just all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and he's like, regardless if you like the answers or not, we're getting answers, right?
Yeah.
So that's something, right? There was something
Yeah.
else they brought up too, which was the dev notes, dev diaries,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Zoe's like, what happened to those, by the way? And he's like, yeah, like they end up being a bigger undertaking than we expected. We probably should have said that, like we probably should have announced that, like we're gonna like not roll them out once every 2 months or once every whatever their time interval is, because they definitely haven't been meeting that.
Yeah.
But at least it's good that we have some resolution on what's going on there. They're definitely gonna continue sometime down the road, but it's
Mhm.
just like it's not high. I don't know if it's not high in the priority, but it's
He
like,
said he said that it was taking more company resources than they
mm,
previously thought,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it was taking people's time away from other projects.
gotcha.
I mean, again, arguable, I guess. I don't know how their work days are structured, but that, again, I'm not going to get into that debate. Obviously,
Yeah,
Michael knows more about what happens at Niantic than people that don't work at Niantic. That's all I'll
yeah,
say.
for sure, for sure. Or anyone else listening out there that's a Niantic employee,
Yes.
you know what's up. You know what's
Hmm.
up. We don't, but so we know you out there too now. Um, I'm trying to think if
Dude,
there's any other things from that video that like really stuck out to me.
yeah. I watched like again, I only watched the first 20, 30
Yeah.
minutes. I need to watch the rest. But I wanted to go back to an earlier point that you made. Zoe made a video maybe even a few months ago now, where she basically said that she needed to change the tone of the video she was making on her channel from now on, because she essentially been taking all the negative feedback, all the criticism from her followers, and channeling it to Niantic. And in her video, I remember watching it. She said, "I've written so many letters. I've talked to so many Niantic employees. I've done this. I've done that. I've read all your complaints. I've just absorbed all this negativity from you, and I've tried to get it to the right people, and they just don't respond to me. They don't acknowledge me. They don't do what you want them to do. And as a person, for me, it's draining, and I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm just going to start accepting the game for what it is and just make the best of it. And that's the same thing that Trainer Tips said. Trainer Tips put out a video recently where he said, look, Niantic is just going to make decisions and we have to focus on what we can control in our own lives. And if you like it or don't like it, then you just have to decide. You can't like force change every time you don't like something, which I think both of them make a good point.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think this is like, that's a great point too, especially in the wake of certain people like Though Technical, like taking a break from content creation or indefinitely or whatever, right? Like, I think like I'm not going to pretend like some of the lack of changes or some of the changes for the negative, in my opinion, don't affect me. But at the end of the day, like, you have to decide for yourself as a creator and as a player, like, does that stop you from playing the game, right? I'm not going to pretend like everything's like sunshine and roses, but at the same time too, I do understand the benefit of myself as well as other creators and like commentators and all this stuff. Like, the work we do at least still shines the light on some of the good parts of the game, right? And if it's too much for me to handle, and like no hate on Though or anyone that decides to take a leave from it, but if it's too much for you, if it's too discouraging, then that's the decision you make if you just stop making the create content rather than try to pretend, right, everything's okay. I'm not trying to pretend everything's okay, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what, like, whatever. Like, I'm steamrolling some people with Chestnut in Catch Club, right? Like, I'm still having fun with it, right? Yeah, I don't love some of the changes, right? I don't love this boom burst stuff. I don't love the remote raid issues, whatever. But for me, like, I still like find some joy in this stuff, right? And I'm not going to pretend like I don't, but it's, but I'm still going to keep making some of the content too for my followers that also enjoy some of the parts of the game too.
Yeah. And that's the thing we have to remember as well. Like, as creators, a lot of people look at what we make and a lot of people feed off that energy. So when you can give good energy, it benefits everybody. What really shocked me though, dude, to be honest, is how positive and how much happier I felt after the moveset update dropped. And people on Twitter were actually giving good feedback about that. I was amazed because I think we've been so used to like the negative, the blow after blow, where we feel like, the game is going down the drain at times. And then when you see something like this, everybody's like, you know what? This is a great move update. I like this. This is exciting. This is fun. My mood went way up and I didn't anticipate it. I was like, wow, I feel like I need to make 1,000 videos today. I feel like I just need to, really run through a wall at this point.
You just need to power up some stuff for once. That's all. That's what you really need to do if you're feeling that excited, man. I'm just saying, you got 20 million dust to spend your excitement on.
Yeah, I want to share that excitement with everyone else. That's why we'll stream it.
But anyways, that Galissapod and Electros.
Hey, when I do it, I want full credit. All right. Now that being said, I do think it's cool. Like, feeding off the community is really helpful. And if those updates came out every 3 months, we could have that positivity. So when Niantic does things well, it really works. When they do things badly, it also really works. It just depends on the outcome they want, right?
Yeah. This reminds me of a comment I saw in one of my threads when I was like criticizing the remote raid stuff, I think. And some guy's like, if you hate it so much, why don't you just stop commentating or stuff like that or whatever? I was just like, because I could provide criticism, feedback without quitting. And then I was like, do you quit your job every time you dislike something in the org? He's like, yes. I was like, well, good on you, I guess. But I ain't no quitter.
Exactly.
I didn't make it this far in life to be a quitter. I'm just saying. I mean, to be fair too, I'm also the guy that, like, I'm the last person in my friend group still playing a mobile game or whatever game that we all started together, because I'm still stubborn. I'm like, yeah, I'm climbing the leaderboard. What about you all? And they're like, dude, I stopped playing that game 6 months ago. I was like, oh, I guess it's just me and my internet friends. How do you think I'm still playing Pokemon Go to this day? There's so many lulls, like in the game early on, right? Like before even raids were out, and people just took breaks and stuff. Like a lot of people did. Right? We talked to Anacor, like he took breaks, right? Like Palmer's up still is like shocked that I've missed like I've never missed a catch once a day ever, except for when we were flying to Australia. That was the only time, and that was inevitable because I just lost a day on the flight, right? That's the only time. And I've only missed a stop once outside that flight too, because I just forgot during the pandemic to go outside, right? But that's it. That's me as a person, love or hate it, it is what it is. But yeah. Anyway, shout out again to Zoe, Two Dots, and Michael for putting that interview together and being a part of it. Michael said he is looking forward to the future of Go, and he's looking forward to rebuilding trust and everything. So I'm optimistic. We'll see how it goes, right? Even if I didn't like the remote raid stuff, we'll see. I mean, hey, Shadow raids too, right? It was our first one. hopefully the next one's better with Articuno. If not, I mean, it's just Articuno, so you're not missing out on too much.
Dude, as Michael himself said, cut that part out. As Michael himself said, actions speak louder than words, right? Yep. So you say you're hopeful, I am too, but I'm just going to wait and see.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to our short-term bet. I'm looking forward to our 3 regionals this upcoming weekend. I'm looking forward to competing next weekend in Fresno, getting my Hundo Axew in the process,
We'll see.
It's going to be a good time. Like I said, I got a team ready. And I'm also looking forward to Speedy is Cheap eating a spicy chip next week.
Spicy. Let's get it.
It'll be a good time. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. We are at episode 101. And hopefully many more to go for years to come. But we appreciate you all. Thank you for stopping by. If you want to leave us comments, let us know your thoughts. Drop it down below. Check out our YouTube channel at Battle Cats Podcast. That's about it. Any last words?
Dude, cheers to 100 and cheers to 101 in the next one.
Yeah, we said this off air too, but we should definitely celebrate, grab a drink or something next time we're in the same city. And
I'm down.
Hopefully it'll be a fun city. But if not, we'll make it fun.
We'll make it fun.
We'll bring the party to the city.
We'll grab some Chipotle in Zionic's honor.
Please no. I will say their chips and guac are pretty good though. I do enjoy their chips and guac. I don't know, something about their chips are good. All right. Anyway, catch you all later and peace out.